Alright, welcome in, guys, to another daily card. This daily card's a little bit interesting. It's 3 in the morning, Green Rising, I should say. And I was just told to go ahead and get the daily card out. So that's what we're going to do. If you would like to help with the living situation, I'll keep a roof over my head, at least in the hotel wise, which is what I've been doing, or trying to be doing. And you can do so by donating to the Cash App, the PayPal, the Chime, or Venmo in the description. And that will truly help me out, and I'll be appreciative of it. Regardless, we're gonna get the first card here soon. So the first card, the daily card, I should say, the High Priestess reverse. So the High Priestess reverse, it talks about a lack of seeing the hidden. It's Taurus. It's something about not seeing the efforts of not just the work that you do, but the impact almost of what it is. There's a lack of that nurturing, that higher feminine energy, that higher knowledge, that higher wisdom of seeing beyond what the physical can offer, and seeing what's truly, intuitively giving to you. The moon on the card does signify that it is talking about, the feminine aspect, the mental realm in that sense. It's all about seeing that the connectivity between your work, the masculine, and the feminine, the wisdom that you're recovering from it. So take time to really, if you need to, completely spiritualize it, but if not, just see what you're doing and how you're doing it. See where you're positioned at, because with the High Priestess reverse, this might be the issue within the masculine element that's keeping people stuck, or keeping people away from truly receiving what they're desiring. And it's because they're not even seeing what they're doing at this time. They're not even really seeing how they're moving forward. They're not seeing how things could change or will change. They're just seeing how their output, to them at least, isn't acknowledged, and they're using that as a backbone to create a path to walk down that is even less beneficial than the one that they already were on before that mindset was taken and accepted. So there needs to just be like a higher awareness. What does this connect to? What trauma does it ping? What pain, what memory does it ping? What feeling does it ping? Not even just pain, but what feeling does it ping? For some it be pain, but really just see the adventure going through it, and see what aspects of your life that you've already gone through that it's making you aware of, and how it's controlling you and moving you forward. Being an active observer in that sense. Being engaged with being observant with yourself. A lot of times people just think that being observant with yourself just means, I can just sit around and let these things come up. But you have to be interactive with yourself. Though those thoughts will come up, if you don't interact with them, or ask the questions, or see them in a light that is going to be beneficial, then there's not going to be much of that growth. There's not going to be much of that expansion on that half. But again, it has a lot to do with your positioning. Now, when you begin to see things from that angle, seeing it from the outward benefit rather than what you're receiving in that sense, you will have the high priestess upright. You will see that the Torah will be upright, the rulings will be in the right order, the hidden knowledge is there. Being able to, you know all, but yet not say things. There might be a few things that you're saying to yourself, subconsciously even, that are giving you the keys, or even like you're saying it to yourself, it's like, oh, it's this, and yada, 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 and then moving on and completely forgetting about it. But it's like, you don't see how you have the keys when you need them. You're not really seeing how you do have both the keys at the times, and that might be the issue. Is you're still trying to use one key. You're still trying to be like, oh, I need to do it mentally today, or I need to do it intuitively today, instead of combining those two. So working on that, and working on, I want to say, the entanglement of both of them, because you're the ego, it's the messenger between those two worlds, and you choosing one side or the other now makes it a game for the rational mind to always have sort of a direction, like, oh, you don't need let's do the intuition this time, you need to do it later, or however, right? Make sure that you're working with them in tandem. They are twins. They are meant to be put together and held together. It might be even that you still haven't really accepted the fact of being a twin individual. That might still be a foreign concept. That might not make sense still, of how am I two? How am I never alone? Why do I think this way? Or, or just, quote, why do I feel, quote unquote, this way? And it's a lack of seeing that opposite side. You're asking the questions, but you're not receiving the answer. You know what I mean? The answer really is that simple, that the key is two keys. Two heads are better than one. You have two halves of the brain, the right half and the left half. That's why dolphins have two whole brains, or two right halves and two left halves. You know what I mean? We are not as whole and or complete as we would like to deem. And we have to make sure that we're doing our job of connecting with our feminine element to show who we really are, to show truly not only like ourself, but the figures of mother and father, like, that we are deserving of creating what we're desiring, that we are able to listen to the intuitive side and follow the physical guidance of the mind to reach the goals that we need, to be alert but not in fear, to be aware and not frozen. So it's very important to kind of like work on this aspect of self, especially with the high priestess coming out in reverse. But again, really just focus on the hidden meaning of what you're doing and what you're going through. There is always going to be a hidden meaning. There's always going to be that deeper realization, and that could just be a lot of your stress is these questions of why, but you're not listening to yourself to receive that answer. You're not connected to self to receive that answer. You might not be still or quiet enough to receive that answer. So begin to work on that today, or whenever, really. Just make sure that you're working on that. Especially today, just make sure that you're seeing, like, why is this happening? What's the deeper meaning behind this XYZ? And not panicking yourself. And even make sure that you're not holding on to an older aspect of self that created sort of a paradigm that you could be falling down or in between of, making a choice of what you do want, what you don't want, and not allowing that mind to, swivel back and forth between the two. But regardless, this has been the daily card reading. Again, apologies for the audio. It's just been getting windy recently, which is completely fine. But regardless, thank you all so much for being here. For all the likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, whether energetic or financial. And if you'd like to donate to keep me afloat, to keep the shelter train running until something new pops up, be sure to do so. by donating to the Cash App, the Chime, the Venmo, or the PayPal. And I'll be greatly appreciative of it. Regardless, though, thank you all for being here for the video. I love you all so much. You're moving back tenfold and forever, and I will see you all later.